Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Dwivedi and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of last segment. Consider the following statements about the Jal Jeevan Mission. It aims to provide 100 liters of water per person per day to every rural household by 2024. The mission is based on a community approach to water and integrates demand and supply side management of water. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is B, that is 2 only. Only the second statement is correct. The Jal Jeevan Mission or JJM has launched an innovation challenge in partnership with the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade to develop portable devices for water testing. If we talk about why is it needed, because 50% of the Indian population does not have access to safe drinking water and 2 lakh people die every year because of access to safe and healthy drinking water. So testing device is a necessity right now in India. Also, the mission envisages supply of 55 liters of water per person per day to every rural household through functional household tap connections by 2024. JJM focuses on integrated demand and supply side management of water at the local level. It is based on a community approach to water. It will include information, education and communication as key components. The fund sharing pattern between the sender and the states is 90:10 for Himalayan and northeastern states and 50:50 for other states and 100% for Union Territory. According to the Composite Water Management Index of 2018, it is said that India will lose 6% of its GDP by the year 2050. And also, the demand of water will be a lot, but supply will be less. So we need to save and secure water through different methods such as water harvesting in order to make India self-reliant when it comes to water. Alright, moving on, let's look at the first question of today's GK. With reference to FASTag, consider the following statements. It is an electronic system with reloadable tag feature for automatic deduction of toll tax. It uses the radio waves to read and capture information stored on a tag. It does not need to be within the direct line of sight of the readers to be tracked. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 and 3 only, C 3 only, or D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this question is D, that is 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are correct. Moving on to the explanation. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has made the use of FASTag mandatory for all vehicles. This rule will come into force from 1st January and will be applicable for all vehicles that pass through toll plazas. FASTag was introduced in the year 2017 and it is an electronic toll collection system with a reloadable tag feature which allows automatic deduction of toll without having to stop for carrying out the cash transaction. So, if we talk about FASTag, that it is valid for FASTags, basically are valid for 5 years, and it provides a lot of help in the sense that ease of payment is there because a vehicle does not need to stop on the toll plaza, and if it doesn't stop at the toll plaza, the fuel also will be saved, and when the fuel will be saved, the environment will be flourishing, right? So, all these benefits are there for FASTag. The reloadable tag allows addition of monetary values multiple times. That means it is rechargeable. It is operated by the National Highway Authority of India. Please keep this in mind. Under the supervision of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the tag uses RFID, radio frequency identification technology, and is fixed on the windscreen of the vehicle once active. RFID is the use of radio waves to read and capture information stored on a tag attached to an object. A tag can be read from up to several feet away and does not need to be within the direct line of sight of the reader to be tracked. Moving on, let's look at the next question. With reference to inflation, consider the following statements. It is indicative of an increase in the purchasing power of a country currency. It measures the average price change in the basket of commodities and services over time. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is B, that is 2 only. Only the second statement is correct. Recently, a working paper titled Measuring Trend Inflation in India suggested that maintaining the inflation target at 4% is appropriate. Okay, so Monetary Policy Committee has also suggested the inflation should be within the band of 2%, is 2% to 6%. And 4% is the ideal percentage of inflation. Inflation is a necessity because until and unless inflation is there, investment won't be there, and when investment won't be there, what will happen? The wheels of the economy will remain blocked. So inflation is necessity, mild inflation. Inflation refers to the rise in the prices of most goods and services of daily or common use, such as food, clothing, housing, recreation, transport, consumer staples, etc. Inflation measures the average price change in a basket of commodities and services over time. Inflation is indicative of the decrease in the purchasing power of a unit of a country's currency. This could ultimately lead to a deceleration in economic growth. Of course, when the price of a particular commodity is increasing and the value of the money is not, then of course the purchasing power is not increasing and it's deteriorating. It's going to give way to deceleration of the economy. And however, a moderate level of inflation, as we discussed, is required to ensure that the production is promoted. Which of the following countries' disintegration led to the formation of Croatia? Yugoslavia, Hungary, USSR, and Poland? The correct answer for this question is a Yugoslavia. Moving on to the explanation. Recently, the earthquake hit Croatia of magnitude 6.3 on Richter scale. Croatia came into existence after the breakup of Yugoslavia during the early 1990s. Disintegration of Yugoslavia gave birth to 6 new countries, namely Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia as well. Let's look at the map. Croatia is an important Central European country from the point of its view of geostrategic location, membership of the European Union and NATO, as well as being a significant gateway to Europe through the Adriatic coastline. So this is Croatia, and Croatia is being bordered by Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, and Bosnia-Herzegovina, right? And you can see the Adriatic Sea is here, and here is the Gulf of Venice. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is or are partners of Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization or Gavi? WHO, UNICEF, World Bank. Select the correct answer using code given below. A, 1 and 2 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 3 only, or D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this question is D, that is 1, 2 and 3, all are part of the Gavi. Moving on to the explanation. Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Recently, Union Health Minister Harshvardhan has been nominated by the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, Gavi, as a member of the Gavi board. Created in the year 2000, Gavi is an international organization, a global vaccine alliance, bringing together public and private sectors with the shared goal of creating equal access to new and underused vaccines for children living in the world's poorest countries. So if we talk about vaccine for COVID-19 virus, it has already been projected by most of the reports that the vaccines are not going to be enough for the entire world. So what this alliance does is it's to ensure that the poorest of the poor get access to vaccines such as COVID-19 vaccine. So that is why this question has been asked. Its core partners includes the WHO, UNICEF, the World Bank, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In June 2019, the Gavi board approved a new 5-year strategy, Gavi 5.0, with the vision to leave no one behind with immunization and a mission to save lives and protect people's health by increasing equitable and sustainable use of the vaccine. Alright, moving on. Let's look at our next question. Which of the following institutions is referred to as Mother Tribunal? Central Administrative Tribunal, Comptroller Audit General, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, and Central Information Commission? The correct answer for this question is C, that is Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Its establishment If we talk about Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, it is a quasi-judicial institution and set up in the year 1941 under Section 5A of the Income Tax Act 1922. Initially, it had 3 benches at Delhi, Kolkata and Mumbai, but presently ITAT has 63 benches at 27 different stations, covering almost all the cities having a seat of the High Court. ITAT is referred to as Mother Tribunal, being the oldest tribunal in the country, and if we talk about its functions, it deals with the appeals under Direct Taxes Acts, namely the Income Tax Act of 1961. The orders passed by the ITAT are final and appeal lies to the High Court only if a substantial question of law arises for determination. Now let's look at the next question, please. Mission Sagar 3, often seen in the news, is related to which of the following? Exploration of minerals in Indian Ocean, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, anti-piracy operations, or to check illegal fishing? The correct answer for this question is B, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, that is HADR. Moving on to the explanation. Recently, the INS Kiltan recently arrived at Sihanouk Port, Cambodia under Mission Sagar 3. If we talk about Cambodia, it's a Southeast Asian country, and its capital is at Phnom Penh. Alright, and the ship is to deliver 15 tons of HADR, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, for flood-affected Cambodia. Mission Sagar 3 is a part of India's HADR's assistance to friendly foreign countries during the ongoing pandemic. So, India and Cambodia have very good and friendly bilateral relation, and this may be seen that India and other Southeast Asian countries are trying to forge an alliance in order to be more elastic towards the thrust of China. Alright, moving on. This mission is being undertaken in accordance with the vision of Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. By the name of Sagar, you can see it is filled with overtones of, basically you can call it that it is against China, because China is extremely aggressive in the entire region. So that is why Sagar has this is an acronym for security and growth for all in the region, and reiterates India's position as a dependable partner and the Indian Navy as the preferred security partner and first responder. Very nice. The mission also highlights the importance accorded to ASEAN countries and further strengthens the existing bonds. Moving on, let's look at our next question. Consider the following statements with reference to DigitalOcean. It is the first of its kind digital platform for ocean data management. It provides free access to information to the general public and the common man, and it will play a central role in sustainable management of our oceans and expanding our blue economy initiatives. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A, 3 only, B, 1 and 3 only, C, 2 and 3 only, or D, 1, 2 and 3? The correct answer for this question is D, 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are correct. Moving on to the explanation. DigitalOcean is the first of its kind digital platform for ocean data management. It includes a set of applications developed to organize and present heterogeneous oceanographic data by adopting rapid advancements in geospatial technology. It facilitates online interactive web-based environment for data integration, 3D and 4D data visualization, data analysis to assess the evolution of oceanographic features, data fusion, and multi-format download of disparate data from multiple sources. DigitalOcean will help to share knowledge about the ocean with a wide range of users, including research institutions, operational agencies, strategic users, academic community, maritime industry and policymakers as well. DigitalOcean will provide free access to information to the general public and the common man as well. It will play a central role in sustainable management of our oceans and expanding our blue economy initiatives. Further, the DigitalOcean will be promoted as a platform for capacity building on ocean data management for all Indian ocean rim countries. If we talk about blue economy means the sustainable use of the entire oceanic ecosystem in order to provide jobs and make it more sustainable, make the jobs more sustainable, and also take care of the entire oceanic ecosystem. Right? Moving on. Consider the following statements with reference to Ruthenium 106. Ruthenium 106 is produced from the fission or splitting of uranium-235. Its usage in the medicine for cancer radiation therapy, especially for eye and skin tumors, and in radioisotope thermoelectric generators that power satellites. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is C, that is both 1 and 2. Ruthenium-106 is a radioactive form of the rare heavy metal ruthenium, which is a platinum group metal similar to platinum. Ruthenium-106 is produced from the fission or splitting of uranium-235, the type of uranium used in nuclear fission reactors, so it's found in spent nuclear fuel. Please keep in mind, how is it found? By the splitting of uranium-235. Alright, it's used in medicine for cancer radiation therapy, especially for iron skin tumors. It's also used in radioisotope thermoelectric generators that power satellites. Let's look at our next question. Consider the following statements with reference to Goldilocks zone. We discussed about this yesterday only. It refers to the habitable zone around a star where the temperature is just right, not too hot and not too cold, for liquid water to exist on a planet, because liquid water is important for sustenance of life. Earth and Mars are the only planets in Sun's Goldilocks zone. If a planet is in the Goldilocks zone of a star, it doesn't mean that the planet is going to have life or liquid water. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B 1 and 2 only, C 2 and 3 only, or D 1 and 3 only? The correct answer for this question is D, that is 1 and 3 only. Moving on to the explanation. The Goldilocks zone refers to the habitable zone around a star where the temperature is just right, not too hot and not too cold for liquid water to exist on the planet. And just because a planet or moon is in the Goldilocks zone of a star doesn't mean that it's going to have life or even liquid water. Goldilocks zone means that yes, this particular area, this particular zone is habitable, possibly, but not surely. Alright, moving on. After all, Earth isn't the only planet in Sun's Goldilocks zone. Venus and Mars are also in the habitable zone, but aren't currently habitable. Alright, moving on, let's look at the next question. Consider the following statements with reference to Zardozi embroidery. This is a heavy and elaborate embroidery work which uses varieties of gold threads, spangles, beads and gota. Although today a craftsman makes use of combination of copper wire with a golden or silver polish and silk threads, initially the embroidery was done with pure silver wires and real gold leaves. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is C, that is both 1 and 2. Moving on to the explanation, the MP government is organizing the Ya Rang Bhopali exhibition to promote Zari Zardozi crafts of Bhopal. This is a heavy and more elaborate embroidery work which uses varieties of gold threads, spangles, beads and gota. It is used to embellish wedding outfits, heavy coats, cushions, curtains, etc. Zardozi embroidery work involves making elaborate designs using gold and silver threads. Further adding to the magnificence of the work are the studded pearls and precious stones. Zardozi embroidery has been in existence in India from the time of the Rig Veda. There are numerous instances mentioning the use of zari embroidery as ornamentation on the attire of gods. Initially, the embroidery was done with pure silver wires and real gold leaves. However, today craftsmen make use of combination of copper wire with a golden or silver polish and a silk thread. Let's look at the practice question for our next segment. Consider the following statements with reference to National Common Mobility Card. Dubbed as One Nation One Card, the entire operable transport card would allow the holders to pay for their bus travel, toll taxes, parking charges, retail shopping and even withdraw money. This card runs on both RuPay card and Visa card. The stored value on card supports offline transactions across all travel needs with minimal financial risk to involved stakeholders. Okay, so which of the statements given above is or are correct? A 1 and 2 only, B 2 and 3 only, C 1 and 3 only, or D 1, 2 and 3. So I hope you'll be able to answer it correctly on the comment segment as you always do. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.